What's up everybody? This is VisitJoan and welcome to another speed build. This time around I am building, I built this right after Tiny Living was announced, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna build a practice tiny home. Although I don't know if you really would call this like a tiny home, it's like a small family home, but I'm just gonna call it a tiny home because it feels like a tiny home. So it's gonna be like a tiny practice home. But according to the game, it wouldn't really be considered a tiny home just because it's probably more than 100 tiles because it's like 3 floors, as you'll see. And I decided to do this just because I'm not, Kaylee Creates or Miss Griff. I am not a tiny home architect, so I really don't how do I put this? I'm not familiar with how to build tiny homes, so I kind of want to practice using, a lot of stuff in a small space. There we go. I know I did one that I called it a tiny home back when Mosquito came out in August. You can see it in the next lot over, but that's pretty much it. And that I really wouldn't actually call that like a tiny home, but I don't know what the heck is going on. Anyway, I went to Pinterest to see if I could find some tiny homes, and this kind of qualified as a tiny home. So, I'm just gonna call it a tiny home. I don't know, but anyway, this home is for a family of 5. We have 2 parents and 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, 2 children and a toddler. So, yeah, it's I don't know. This was kind of, I don't remember. I'm kind of just rambling here, honestly. But I got like 20 minutes to fill, and I'm doing 2.5 of these today. So, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. I want to record another video. I want to, record a song that I wrote. But considering I'm going to be doing all these voiceovers today, my voice is probably going to be, in need of a break. So that's probably not going to happen today. But, yeah, I get a very limited opportunity to do these things just because I have to do them when my mom's not home. Because, otherwise, I told her I was going to record, like, the last part of it for, just 2 minutes. And she's like, I'm butting in if you say anything bad about me. I'm like, Mom, I wasn't even going to talk about you. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, so what you just saw there was, I was trying to get the, trim to line up, and it usually just does it by room. And I guess I should probably put the trim on the house before I put the interior walls in, but nope, I didn't do that this time, so I had to actually build a 1-by-1 room just so that I could put the trim where I wanted it and have it stop where I wanted it. But yeah, I was looking off of a picture for this, and oh my goodness, the windows. I had, the hardest time trying to figure out the windows, because I had one set of windows that looked good on the inside, but when I looked on the outside, it just looked terrible. So I'm like, okay, I don't want this. I have to go and start doing something else. But eventually I found something that looked good for both the inside and the outside, and I was able to put those little, Ivy debug things that came with Discovery University, because, well, I wanted something on the walls. I just don't like it when there's nothing on the walls because it feels empty and it feels like somebody just did a halfway job, and that's not, that's not okay with me. So, yeah. But, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I mean, I did one, I don't know, maybe a week ago, but I've got a lot to update you guys on. So, yeah, if you don't like the kind of rambling and speed builds, then, just mute the video and just continue watching it. But if I see something I want to bring up, I'll bring it up, but I'm just gonna talk right now. So, yeah, okay, first thing, the Sims 20th anniversary. We are in the middle of the anniversary celebration week right now. I am recording this on February 5th, so that is the day after. And, to celebrate, there was an update in the game, which I wasn't all that thrilled about because I have to take out my mods, and there was one mod I needed to avoid having a problem with my OCD. Fortunately, that ended up not being a big deal, but I was worried for a while there. But anyway, the update basically consisted of a hot tub for the base game, and basically just 4 new songs that I haven't even gotten to listen to yet because I did my playing earlier in the day before the update went live. So yeah, how do I feel about the hot tub? Well, you know what? I got perfect patio stuff back in spring of 2018. So I feel like I've gotten my $10 worth out of that pack, so I'm not too upset about it. I'm happy for the people who don't have perfect patio stuff, and so they could have a hot tub in their base game. I'm happy about that, but I mean, for the people who just bought that pack, I would understand being upset about it. But there's not like there's just like a hot tub in that pack. I mean, okay, that was the only reason I got that pack. But there are other things I use in there a lot too, like the barbecue sauce bottles. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. And I know there's like a little lattice type thing that I use to decorate the outside wall later in this build. And I actually used, the countertops in a build recently. So it's not like that pack is completely useless to me now, but yeah, I would understand why people would be upset about that. And I'm kind of neutral to it, but it's been 20 years that we've had this game now, and I didn't actually start playing until 2004, but I did start with The Sims 1, so in a way, I'm kind of maybe a little jealous of the people who started from the beginning, but still, 20 years is a pretty big milestone, and, when Pokemon had their 20th anniversary back in 2016, they were celebrating for the entire year. I mean, they were giving away legendaries. Pokemon Go became a thing. They released a brand new generation of Pokemon, which I really just kind of find it hard to believe that we're now a generation later, but here we are. And they re-released the original Red, Blue, and Yellow on the Virtual Console for the 3DS. So yeah, they actually, did a lot to celebrate that. And I don't know, maybe the Sims team is planning a year-long celebration. I don't know, but, people are saying, I think the players care more about the game than the developers. And I think if anyone has a problem here, it's EA because, well, EA wants money, okay? That's pretty much all they want. They know that The Sims is the best-selling franchise out there, and they want the profits of that, so yeah, but that's understandable in a world that's where money drives everything. So, yeah. So, now for an update on how my life is going, and to be honest, not that well. I survived January, which is an accomplishment in and of its own right, because January was a piece of flaming garbage. But I found out through a mutual follower of ours that somebody on Twitter is spreading a lie about me. And that's not cool, especially since I kind of wanted to be her friend. But so I'm like, I'm done. All bets are off. You don't get to go around and tell me that I'm harassing your friend when I've never even spoken to this person or even know who you're talking about. Like, seriously. And oh my goodness, this freaking pepper jars were annoying just to place. But anyway. So yeah, I'm done. I don't care about you anymore. It's true that we had this, original conflict since last November, and I honestly thought that that was just a misunderstanding. And it's been, causing me a lot of pain since then, and but now that I know this person's true colors, I can finally just put the whole thing behind me and move on to somebody else, and hopefully it won't take me a decade to find them this time. Because, the only really way I can make a friend that I can actually hang out with is to meet somebody over the internet and hope that all the factors work in my favor. And the last time that happened was actually back in the fall of 2009. And that person did leave the community after a while, and it wasn't that big of a deal because, well, my life was just different than it is now. I had friends. I had, things going for me a little bit. So, I don't know. I mean, what are the chances that this actually happened? I feel like the universe kind of pushed me in this direction and it's let me down. So I don't know what the heck I'm going to do at this point. But I know one thing is clear. I don't want anything to do with this person anymore. So I don't know. I mean, I only just hope it doesn't affect me growing my channel at all. I mean, I know there are going to be people there that believe the lie. But you know what? I don't need to be dealing with them either. So I had hoped that, in 2020 we could put 2019 behind us and move on and everything would work out. And well, I guess it kind of did, just not in the way I was hoping for. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The good news is, however, is I was able to actually write a couple of songs about it. And, I do have a music channel. It just hasn't been updated recently because, well, it usually takes me a long time to write a song, like months. But this time, I was able to direct my frustration and disappointment and anger, not only in my content here, but also in these songs. And the lyrics just really kind of flowed. I mean, there was one that I pretty much wrote in like 24 hours. And the last time I did that was 2008, I believe. So my music channel is going to get a little bit more active in the coming weeks because I pretty much almost have enough for an album now. So, if you're interested in that, the link will be in the description below. And, like I said, like I got 2 songs out of it and maybe like half of a third one because it's not completely about this situation, but it still kind of applies to it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I won't be, uploading those until the 20th anniversary week is done. But, I mean, when I'm thinking about it, it's kind of surreal that I put more effort into a 20th anniversary celebration than the Sims team did. I mean, I've been working on this since November, okay? Like, I don't know how long the Sims team plans their stuff in advance because I'm not part of it, but, like, I don't know. It just feels like I should be getting a lot more credit than I am, but that's because I'm like a small channel and stuff. And, I'm trying to promote stuff and it's just hard. But another thing that happened is I did kind of have like, in the last week of January, I kind of had like a head cold where my head was just feeling, I don't know, just kind of like dizzy or like somebody took a string and pulled it taut in my head. And oh my goodness, yeah, that was fun. So I decided to go and I just didn't really want to play. I didn't feel like it. So I decided to get the free trial of Disney Plus. And that was actually really fun because, I was able to catch up on some stuff. Like I kind of binged the Clone Wars a little bit because I've never properly watched that show. And the new season is coming out. So I kind of wanted to see a little bit of what it was like. And I saw Big Hero 6, which I've been wanting to see since Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. So that's a year now. And I did watch a little bit of The Mandalorian, but to be completely honest, although yes, Baby Yoda is cute, but if I'm being completely honest here, I just didn't really like the pacing of it. It was just too slow. They lingered too much on some just like unnecessary stuff, and I don't know, it just wasn't my thing, you know what I mean? I also saw Diary of a Future President, which I did see some people just like complaining about because they're stupid, but really when I saw that and I saw like the diversity of the people, in the one scene, and I'm just sitting there like, why isn't this reality? It should be reality. But then again, when you have people complaining about the Super Bowl halftime show for stupid reasons, unlike last year's show where they actually didn't like it because it just wasn't all that good. But yeah, that's the sad world we live in. But I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I watched the halftime show, and I really enjoyed it. I was kind of hoping, the 49ers would win because one guy on that team actually is a college classmate of mine. And although I never had a class with him, he went there the same time I went there. So it would be really cool to have seen him win the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess it was kind of cool to see him, that he was playing in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's kind of cool. But, I was really hoping for a win for them, and that didn't happen. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy for Kansas City fans out there, but, it just wasn't the result I would have liked to have seen. And also because, San Francisco is my alternate reality adopted hometown. So, I mean, I kind of like to live in maybe a little bit in the Bay Area at some point. I mean, it's expensive there, but there are a lot of, tech jobs there, so I could easily feel like that at some point I could probably make enough to live there. I wouldn't have to have like a big house or something like that. And the weather is just that much nicer. I mean, there are some parts in the Bay Area where it's actually a little bit nicer, all the year round, but, it doesn't get, above 70 in San Francisco, but it doesn't get below 50 either. And right now I'm just completely sick of it. which I actually don't even know the result of Groundhog Day because Puxatawny Phil and our local groundhog said 2 different things. So one of them's going to tick me off because I really don't want 6 more weeks of this winter stuff. Dear goodness, spring. I just want spring. Actually, no, I don't, because spring is just a really crummy time of year for me anymore. But I just want the weather to get better so I can feel better. So now we're on the oldest girl's room, and this room, oh my goodness. I had to move furniture around a lot to get it to be something that I liked. And I did cut a little bit of it out, but I figured I was just going to leave stuff in just because like I said, I was planning on talking so much, and I've actually, moved videos around in my schedule just because I still have some university stuff to go up, but nobody really wants to see that right now. So I'm kind of going to put these little tiny homes up first, and eventually you'll see everything. I still have to, plan everything out, but basically what happened was, I put the desk in one place and I didn't like it, so I moved it around, and then I put the couch in one place because I was trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to put the seating? Where am I going to put the little arts and crafts table? Where am I going to put the dollhouse? And I don't remember if I actually got every single one of those things in there that I wanted, but, I was just having trouble kind of figuring out how I was gonna do this room, and that was really just kind of annoying, especially because this is the last room in the house, and I kind of wanted to be done, to be honest. But yeah, I do like how it turned out in the end, but I had to move a lot of things around to get there. So yeah, I also kind of discovered this thing on this desk where I was putting some of the stuff in some slots, and it was kind of sinking down in the desk. You'll see that with the pencil cup, or you just did. It went so fast I didn't even see it. But anyway, I don't really know what's going on anymore. But I don't remember if I even put this house on the gallery. I probably have at some point, but I don't know. I just need to do that. I was doing, updating the gallery before every update, but since now they spring updates on us last minute, I don't really have time to do that. But anyway, we are coming to the end of this speed build, so I am going to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you leaving a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on anything. And you can follow me on social media. I am on Instagram if you want to see behind the scenes, fun facts, stuff like that. You can follow me at VisitJoan. And if you want to see my opinions on Sims related stuff, you can follow me on Twitter at VisitJoanVideos. But anyway, you guys, I've already talked a lot and I have more voiceovers to do, so I'm going to leave you here. Bye, everybody!
Kivo free meat, Fabriques on the beach, Shasha Shubi, Men to be on peak is bad day, yo Fluby. Oh.